Um, since we are actually on the subject of the BMF series, and I didn't get to do it uh, the way I wanted, we're gonna talk about this shit right now. You feel me? I'm disappointed kind of in how it ended. I'm disappointed in a lot of things concerning like that situation. You know what I mean? Like the first season, I say, you know, it was epic. You know, we got the come up story, 50 Boys. You got the brothers Wood and Steve Harris sharing the same screen for the first time, you know, in their whole acting career. Shit, Lamar was like the ultimate nemesis, you know what I mean?
And you can't stop the rain. You can't stop the rain.
They were tweaking in there, you know what I'm saying? But even then, they were starting to mess up the storyline by portraying B. Mickey as a rat, which is Derek Meeks, and killing Kato, which we can prove from YouTube videos that D. Meeks, who B. Mickey character was based on, was not an informant. He definitely didn't kill Kato, because the chick who Kato was based on, she on the she on YouTube or whatever, and got interviews and shit too. Now, we thought it was over for Lamar in season 1, you know what I mean? But he was back for more, you know what I mean, in season 2. And let Vlad TV tell it, his interview with the real Lamar, dude, I can't remember his whole name, but I know it went by like the Beast or some shit like that. Kind of forced the production to write him back in the script now that people knew he was still alive, right? Then you had Snoop Dogg, you know what I mean, playing Pastor Swift. You know, at some point I thought he was gonna crack Meech and T-Mom, Lucille and all that, you know what I'm saying? Season 3 is where it started to go like downhill for me. For one, like I really started not to like Lucille's character. You know what I mean? Lala Anthony playing Tanisha Welch. That shit got tired real quick. And then the whole inaccuracy, like with the war between BMF and the MKs, which was portrayed, which was basically supposed to be a portrayal of the Miami Boys that came up under Big Ike, you know, Convertible Bird, and a lot of niggas was down, you know what I mean, with that, like that came out of Miami. And I believe like, and then they made them out to be like they were Haitian. So it's like you make the Miami Boys and the Zoes, and then you got them fighting like whatever and shit, like the crew. I guess that's supposed to be a portrayal of Down by Law, I believe was the name of that squad. You know what I mean? That was beefing with the Miami niggas and shit. But I was still invested in season 3, like, you know what I mean? And I was actually looking forward to season 4. Now, we all know that between season 3, well, between the end of season 3 and the beginning of season 4, Big Meech was released from federal prison after serving like close to 20 years or 20 years total. And, you know, all of the snitch allegations with Cuffy claiming that Tammy Cowens was a third-party cooperator for Big Meech to get a time cut. And after being home a minute, Meech, who I believe is still in a halfway house and on federal paper, at the least, started making his rounds, you know, trying to collect that bag, you know. And one of the bag stops he made was Rick Ross. Yeah, he stopped by the Promised Land and shit. He got him one of them things, right? Now, we all know 50 Cent has had a long-standing feud with Ross. You get what I'm saying? And things probably already shaky because before all of this happened, before Meech even gets out on the street, Southwest T took a picture with what's his name? Kyle Roberson or whatever and shit. Kenneth Supreme McGriff's son, when they called it P2. And took a little shirt that had Meech and Supreme on it. Like, this shit crazy. You know what I'm saying? But after the Rick Ross situation, you know, 50 began to publicly distance himself from the BMF brand and the show. You know what I mean? Especially with posts like the one of the text message from Lil Meech claiming that Big Meech only linked up with Ross for the car show to make some money to cover his bills until the next season started. And that's when 50 had the infamous response, "What next season, little nigga?" Then they really threw the timeline out. Now season 4 comes along. Everybody was saying season 4 wasn't going to happen. And I pointed out in, like, you know, other previous content how before season 3 even aired, they already sealed the deal for season 4. You know what I'm saying? Now, they really threw the timeline like through a loop. I don't know what they were thinking. When they started going into the St. Louis part, you know, of the series. Like, the Moors depicted in season 4 is based on a guy named Jerry Louis Bay and his organization, which I actually have a Mafia Material piece coming out about. It seemed like, I don't know, bro, it just seemed like from that, you know, in the acting or whatever and shit kind of going down, you know what I'm saying? Like 50 lost interest and the writers and production lost interest too. You know what I mean? Now, what I will say is that MVP for me throughout the entire series, just, you know, being in character and just somebody that I actually like through the whole series, is my nigga Hoop, man. You know, I feel like he was equally loyal to both brothers, and he did exactly what he was supposed to do, even when, like, he wasn't told. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, shout out to Dog or whatever and shit. That's my take on it, bro. I don't know. He's supposed to be starting a documentary series where Southwest T is talking for the first time, giving his perspective. And so clearly, I don't know, bro. Like, you know what I mean? This is, I don't know if this is 50 Cent produced. I'm pretty sure it is, because I'm pretty sure when they did the series, in the event that it became super successful and people did the spinoffs, people want to make sure, like, yo, I get some, you know, equity in what I helped create, you know, as a hit. But let me know what y'all think, man. What do y'all think about the series? I saw something else or whatever. I didn't get time to look into it, but they were saying that Stars reportedly lost like some M's behind 50 Cent putting the distance between him and the show. So we'll see. But let me know what y'all think or whatever in the comments, man. And, you know, hit that like and subscribe button, man. Like and subscribe. Share this shit. Help a nigga out.